Hi everyone, I'm Jodi. Welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. Today's going to be a fun video because I am answering your skincare questions. So I'm really excited to be having more of an opportunity to interact with you guys instead of the channel being just kind of one way where I provide information. I love doing that and I'm happy to do that. I just want to make sure that I'm answering the questions and giving you the information that is most helpful to you, allowing you to stay on track with your busy lives, but still having the pieces and tidbits of information within beauty and skincare that allow you to look and feel your very best. So if you're looking for an opportunity to interact more with me, make sure that you leave comments in the comment section. Follow me over on Instagram, and from time to time I'll put up these types of questionnaires and surveys asking for the types of information that you're looking for and more specific questions on whether it's beauty or skincare, anti-aging, and who knows what other topics. So I'd love to hear back from you guys as well. So today we're going to talk all about skincare questions, and not only your skincare questions, but some of the questions were about my skincare routine. So I am going to post my current skincare routine for the winter, and I will slightly shift it for spring, but not much. I'll link that right up here. It walks you through everything that I currently use and have been loving. I love many of the products in my winter routine so much, and they're all drugstore products with the exception of the sunscreen. Well, you can buy the sunscreen at the drugstore. It's just $45, so I don't really feel like that's a drugstore price. So I don't want to mislead anyone. But I've loved these products so much that I packaged them up and gave them to my sister for Christmas. I gave them to my mom for Christmas. I have really enjoyed these products, and they're at a price point that's really comfortable and a result that I'm loving. Also, if you guys are watching the Friday face-offs, the video that's coming out on Friday, I am in day 2 of the wear test of that today. So when you see that on Friday, you'll be like, wait a minute, that's the one. So I'm curious to see if you can tell if one side of my skin looks different, better, worse, patchy, not patchy, better coverage, shiny, not shiny, matte. Curious to see what your thoughts are and if you can tell which side is which. One side I have the Clé de Peau and one side I have the Tom Ford. So if you can tell which one is which, like that's gonna do anything. Anyway, if you're curious to see how that wear test turned out, then make sure you check out Friday's video. All right, so if you're ready to dive into the questions that came from you, let's get started. The first question was from Vola, who is a long-time subscriber and a big supporter of the channel. She lives up in Toronto. I have to say, my Canadian subscribers, you guys are phenomenally supportive, kind, thoughtful. Just, I really enjoyed interacting with all of you from Canada. So thank you for that. Vola's question, and thank you for this question because it's something that many of us want to find an answer for because it single-handedly can help us preserve our more youthful look in our skin. Without collagen, our skin tends to get more depleted. It starts to sag a little bit more, so you lose the firmness and the tightness. It also allows more wrinkles to come through. I mean, you guys have all seen when there's a balloon blown up as far as it can go, and then if a little bit of air comes out of it over time, what's the texture in the outside of that balloon look like? It looks wrinkled and wavy, and the texture is different. That is exactly what collagen does for our skin. And we start to lose collagen in our skin in our 30s. So there are things that you can do to help slow down the depletion of collagen. And let me remind you, I'm not a dermatologist, nor am I a nutritionist. However, these are common things to know, so I'm not giving you any medical advice or nutritional advice. But you can help decrease your collagen loss by eating more things like broccoli, strawberries, green and red peppers, citrus, less sugar, less tobacco products, less caffeine, more sleep, you know, all the things that we already know. Additionally, if you have the vitamin C deficiency, that can lead to low collagen production. So that's where things like your vitamin C internally, your citrus fruits, things like oranges, of course, and then vitamin C as a topical will also help. Now that we know how to slow down the loss of collagen, is there a way to help build it back up and repair it? Yes, there are things that you can do to help increase the production and stimulation of collagen growth while at home. Hyaluronic acid is another way to help promote collagen production, and hyaluronic acid is in many of our skincare products. So just take a minute to see where you have hyaluronic acid, whether it's in your moisturizers, your serums, your foundations, sometimes your sunscreen. And if you find that you don't have hyaluronic acid weaved throughout your skincare and or beauty products, that's one that you're definitely going to want to include. Collagen powders can be a good way to supplement and help stimulate the growth of collagen. It does require a consistent application or digestion of these collagen powders, and you want to look for collagen powders that have hydrolyzed collagen. The one I use is the Bulletproof Collagen Protein. This comes in vanilla. One of the reasons that I like this one is because it tastes good whether I use it in hot or cold. I just take a half a scoop and put it in my coffee in the morning, and then I take a half a scoop and put it in water that I drink throughout the day. I like this one because it comes from cow protein, from cows that have spent the majority of their life out in green pastures eating green grass. That is just important to me. So if that's something that's important to you, then this would be a good one to try. One of the other questions related to collagen powder that Vola asked was, is marine or bovine better? And that really does come down to more of a personal preference. I would say that there's a benefit to each and there's a drawback to each. What I found researching the Mayo Clinic's website, as well as speaking to a nutritionist here in the Seattle area, marine is used for a more broad word. So any type of sea animal or sea creature can be used in the marine collagen powder. So you're not always sure what you're getting unless the brand that you're purchasing specifically states this is just shark or this is solely XYZ. But it can be things like jellyfish, starfish, it can be anything. Now that doesn't mean they're bad, it just means you are not sure where exactly that collagen is coming from. Now on the other side, there are some very popular bovine collagen powders that seem to have good results as well. One thing I will say on the cow side of things though, we all have seen this really popular collagen powder, and if you have the one with the cow on it, the cow's tail is lifted up. I was speaking to somebody at Nordstrom about this who works there, and she said, you know, I love the results of that, but I found that it made me a little bit gassy. And I was so thankful that she gave me that feedback, because I thought, well, if that's the case, it doesn't mean it happens to everybody, but I thought that was worthy enough information to pass on to you, that if you find that something's different in your system and you've been using the one with the cow, then you may just want to see if that is what's causing that reaction. Okay, moving on. So, Vol, the short answer is yes, these collagen powders can have an impact. You just want to find one that works best for you. I specifically like the Bulletproof, and I'll leave a link to it down below in case you guys are interested. Other things that you can do to help stimulate the growth of collagen is things like microneedling, and I do have a video on that. I will link that down below in the description box so that you can see exactly how I microneedle and the very inexpensive tools that I use. I'm not indicating that you should or do it that way. I'm just sharing with you how I do it and how I've been microneedling for years, and the results, I absolutely love them. Other things like red light therapy are helpful to stimulate the growth of collagen. Omnilux has that nice face mask. I've shared that with you guys before, how much I love that, and the one for the hands. It does help stimulate the growth of collagen. Vitamin C is such a critical part of any anti-aging skincare routine, whether you're over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70, or 20. You want to absolutely ensure that you have a vitamin C program, both internally as well as topical. And it's best used in the morning because it not only brightens your skin, it helps create a barrier to help keep outside toxins, environmental toxins, from penetrating into your skin. So to summarize all this information, collagen powders absolutely can help stimulate the growth and production of collagen. But it's a complete program. You also want to be eating foods that are rich in vitamin C and antioxidants. You want to avoid smoking, limit your caffeine intake, drink plenty of water, minimize your sugar intake, and of course, protecting your skin from the sun may all help preserve collagen and boost its production. Next question is from Mary, and a big thanks to you as well. You've been a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, and your questions are always so thought-provoking and insightful for me as well, so I appreciate your participation in the channel. Mary's question was, is there a good primer/moisturizer combo? Mary had a follow-up question on if I was aware of a primer/moisturizer in a blue and white tube that professional makeup artists use. She has seen it in a few different videos and wasn't sure what it was but wanted to try it. So I did some research and I went back to the makeup kit that I first purchased when I started taking the online Makeup Academy courses. In that starter kit, they recommended that we use the primer from Makeup Forever, the high definition. It is not in a blue and white tub. So then I reached out to a few different makeup artists that I know in different parts of the country, asked them if they knew of one, one. And one of them suggested that it might be the Laura Geller Spackle. And I like it because it is hydrating. When it comes to selecting a primer slash moisturizer, you really want to understand what you want this product to do in order to find the right one, because there are many of them on the market, but some are designed specifically to help moisturize. Some are designed to mattify. Some are designed to refine or minimize the look of pores. Some have been created to help absorb oil. So you want to identify what do you need this product to do to help find the very best one for you. If you have oily skin, you want to make sure that you don't pick up a primer slash moisturizer that adds extra moisture. This one is perfect for more oily to combination skin because even though it hydrates, it doesn't add extra hydration, so much so that you'd be just a slippery mess at the end of the day. Lorac Dewy Canvas is a really nice primer slash moisturizer for more dry skin if you're looking to hydrate. And I'll link all these down below, you guys, in case you're interested. I just want to give you a couple ideas. The most important thing is to identify what is it that you need this product to do, and then start to search in that category. And the third question that Mary had, as well as Miss British Woman, they were asking about what are the 3 necessary must-have skincare anti-aging steps for the morning and for the evening. And this is an interesting question because as much as I try to pare this down, there's a lot to unpackage in a morning and evening routine. So the first thing I try to identify is, are there just 3 steps or 3 products that is universally needed across the board? And as we age, there really is 4, and that's not even including cleanser. And let me explain what I mean by that. Cleanser is something that we've got to do, whether you use a gentle cleanser or a more aggressive cleanser or coconut oil in my case. You want to clean the skin. The second thing is you want to have in your morning routine some sort of a gentle exfoliator. Now I like to use the Thayer's because it's just a nice toner. It evens out my skin and gets it ready for the next step. The third step is going to need to be some sort of a serum to hydrate underneath this delicate eye area. Vitamin C is a critical step in your morning skincare routine because not only does it help brighten the skin, but it also helps protect the barrier of your skin from things that are in our environment. You don't want it to be too emollient because that will cause slippage with your concealer. And with that extra emollient, if you add any type of a setting powder to it, that's where you're gonna really build up some of that cakiness. So you want this area to be very hydrated, but let your skin sit and absorb that before going to your next step. Of course, you're gonna wanna add back some moisture and then sunscreen. All of this may seem very confusing, but what more important than it being confusing is it can be expensive. Finding the right skincare products that work for your unique skin is not as difficult as it sounds. And that's exactly why I created the 90-day skincare journey workbook, so that you are able to manage the products that you're using both morning and night, track their progress and their effectiveness on the issues that you're addressing, and switch them out so that you're not just kind of revamping your entire skincare routine when in fact it may just be one product that isn't working properly. And how our skincare is or isn't working for us today can have a direct reflection on how our makeup is wearing. So that workbook journey, you guys, I'll link that also down below so that you can pop over to my website at JODIMANNES.com and see if that's something that you think would be helpful. Now switching to our PM skincare routine, same thing. It's a little hard to dwindle it down to just 3. Maybe we could get away with 3 in our 20s, but like other things, there's just a few more steps as we get a little bit older, but it's all worth it and you can see the results in just a little bit of time. Evening, it's important that you clean your face. Of course, we all know this, take off our makeup. Also in that evening routine with a gentle toner after your cleanse is you're gonna wanna add some sort of retinol. Now you'll notice that retinol is spelled with an A, and there's also retinol spelled with an O. Retinol with an A has been proven to be 11 times stronger than retinol with an O. So depending on how sensitive your skin is, you may want to start with a retinol with an O and work your way into a retinol with an A. Now in that category is tretinoin. Now there's retinol with an A, then there's tretinoin, and then there's retinol with an O. And I place them in that order because that is the order of their strength. Tretinoin sits right in between the two. It works the very same way. It helps minimize the looks of fine lines and wrinkles. It helps exfoliate your skin, and over time can help give you a more tight appearance to the skin. All 3 are very good. Retinol with an A and tretinoin are typically only found through a prescription. If you're not sure how sensitive your skin is, I would recommend starting out with a retinol with an O and then go up to something more strong with a prescription from your dermatologist with tretinoin or retinol with an A. You can still use your vitamin C in the morning. You can use the glycolic acid, or lactic acid in the morning, and use this retinol in the evening. You just want to start out with one or the other, make sure your skin can handle it, and then slowly introduce the other one. It's really up to you if you want to start with your vitamin C or your retinols in the evening. And then you want to end your evening with some sort of a serum, an eye cream, really moisturized. And to end the evening routine, you want to add a moisturizer with a niacinamide in it, because niacinamide is going to help lock in that moisture and protect a barrier so that moisture stays inside of your skin throughout the evening. The key here is with your skincare routine, you want to just take a few minutes and identify what type of skin do you have and what skincare conditions are you wanting to improve. Do you have oily skin? Same routine we just talked about, just use products that are geared more towards oily skin. If you have dry skin, just find products that specialize or cater to more dry skin. Same is said for sensitive skin and or normal combination skin. So I hope this helps you organize your morning and evening skincare routine. I don't know that 3 steps is really doable with an anti-aging program, but once you get into the routine of these things, I promise you they won't take long, and that skincare workbook will really help you identify what's working, what isn't, what do you want to address, and before you know it, you'll be on your way to really beautiful, healthy skin, which we all know it makes a big difference on our makeup application. And Mary's last question was more about hormones and hormone balancing. Now, this was an area that I have educated myself, but I can't speak to it enough to give information that I would feel comfortable to you guys. I will say that I have watched many of Menopause Taylor's videos on YouTube. I was introduced to her probably 4 years ago by Angie at Angie Hot and Flashy, and she talked about Menopause Taylor. Now, I found her videos to be at first a little quirky, but so informative that I felt enlightened. I felt like I was really educated after watching her videos, and she's got library after library after libraries of videos, and she offers one-on-one counseling via Zoom. So if you have not watched any of Menopause Taylor's videos and you're having questions about skin, hair, menopause in general, so I felt like her information was coming from not only a place of knowledge and experience, but of a woman that sort of challenged some of what we thought we knew. I will leave that up to a professional, and I'll leave a link to her videos down below. And from Peggy Danishevsky, I hope I pronounced that correctly, her question was more about what type of powder do I use to set under my eyes, and what's the difference between pressed powder and setting powder. So let's unpackage that question. First and foremost, the powder that I use to set underneath my eyes, and I do it with just a little tiny, well, it's not little, I guess it's a medium-sized tapered brush. This one is by Sigma, one of my favorite. This is a Soft Blend 50. And I just take a little bit of this Laura Mercier brightening powder. It's a translucent powder. I take a little bit of that from the lid, tap it off, and then that's why I like this tapered, because it just fits the curve of under my eye as I'm starting to lose more volume under my eye, and allows that powder to get in. Now, before I do that, I press that concealer to make sure that I've got everything pressed into each crevice, nook and cranny, and then I will set it. Because once you put the powder on it, you've sort of locked it in place, so any wrinkles that are there that you have not really pressed that concealer in essentially are set for the duration of the day or until your powder wears off. And I will link both of these things down below in case you're interested. Now, in terms of the difference between a pressed powder and a setting powder, in essence, a pressed powder can be a setting powder. So let me tell you what I mean by that. You want to understand what type of look or finish do you want to your makeup from a setting powder perspective. If you're going to use a setting powder, and I recommend that you do if you have oily skin for sure. If you have dry skin, not so much, but just wherever you have any oil that might break through, or if you wear glasses and where you put the rim of your glasses sits right on your cheeks, you'll want to put a little bit of powder right through there, setting powder. So if you are going to use a setting powder, then you're just going to want to identify, do you want it to have a matte look to your makeup? Do you want to have a satin look to your makeup? Do you want a setting powder that adds a little bit of color? Once you know the answer to that, then you can take a step back and look at the types of powders that you want. For example, I don't use a setting powder other than to set underneath my eyes and a little bit on my nose. I don't want to add color. I'm very happy with the color of my foundation. So I will just put a little bit of this translucent. I kind of think of this as like see-through, or I just put it where I need it to just hold whatever is underneath it in place. But if you just want to add a little bit of color, then yes, you'll want to look for a powder that has color to it. Now, you can find that in a pressed powder or a loose powder. The difference is really up to you. It's just dependent on how those powders are milled. One doesn't wear dramatically different than the other. What you're looking for is, how do you like to put on your powder? Do you like it to be a little bit more thick? That's where you're gonna get, you will get that from a pressed powder. But they're pretty even in terms of their application, other than pressed powder is a little thicker. You just wanna know, how do you wanna wear it? Where do you wanna wear it? And do you want it to add color? And then from there, do you prefer a loose powder or a pressed powder? When I'm doing someone else's makeup, I still prefer a loose powder because I find that it doesn't get as cakey. You don't have to press it. You can just lightly dust it. And on aging skin, I think that dusting of a little powder looks better than the pressing into fine line and pores. I mean, think about it. If you've got a pore and you're shoving powder in it after you've already put moisturizer, sunscreen, foundation, maybe some blush into that pore, and then you're pressing that all in with the powder, that to me just feels like you have now compacted everything in that pore and it has no choice but to expand. That's my own personal theory. No one's shared that with me, but that is what I feel my face looks like if I've used a pressed powder. That's not to say you shouldn't if it works best for you, but essentially those are the differences between your pressed and your loose powder. And you just need to identify, do you need powder? And do you want to add color with your powder? And once you've identified those things, the mystery of powder is solved. Well, this has been a really fun video for me. I hope it's been helpful to you in just filling in some of those knowledge gaps that we have that we just haven't picked up along the way. I hope you have beautiful, healthy skin with or without makeup. And on top of that, go have a great, wonderful day. And I will see you guys on Friday with the Friday Face Off with these two foundations. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.